in ninth grade, and she's been a really active young lady here on campus. Today she has quite a collection of guests, so let me introduce them. We want to welcome Ms. Carolyn Bowen, her mom, Mr. Corey Bowen and Keisha Brown, her dad and stepmom via FaceTime, Reggie Crawford, her brother, Jonathan Robertson, her uncle, Betty Robertson, her grandmother, Sharon Hurst, her godmother, and Pastor Lisa and Karen Lilly, who are friends and mentors from EDS. So welcome to you today. Imani is very active here on campus. She is a member of the Service Club, where she serves as vice president, Schools for Schools, where she serves as president, the Art Club, FCS, Student Council, Senior Admission Ambassador. She's also, outside of school, involved with the Red Cross Youth Board, Camp Ivy Youth Board, and she says she enjoys hanging out with her friends. So welcome Imani to the podium.
Okay. How many of you know the difference between osteoporosis and osteopetrosis? Well, in short, osteoporosis literally means porous bone, while osteopetrosis means stone bone, and I have the latter. On April 16, 2001, I came into this world a healthy and what my parents thought a pretty normal baby. However, 21 months after I was born, the doctors noticed something wasn't right. I was below the average weight of babies around my age, and despite the fact that all of my bone structures were intact, abnormal contour and density was discovered within my bones. And with further examination, I was diagnosed with osteopetrosis. The doctors predicted that I would lose my sight, hearing, and ability to walk by the age of 3 years old. But boy, were they wrong. I'm sure all of you are thinking, what in the world is that? So let me tell you. Osteopetrosis is a bone disease that makes bones abnormally dense and prone to breakage. It was first identified by radiologist Albert Schoenberg in 1904. He described it as a syndrome of excessive bone calcification, meaning the calcium builds up in body tissue, blood vessels, or organs, causing a marble-like appearance. There are various forms of osteopetrosis based on their pattern of inheritance or severity of their symptoms, some of which include autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, X-linked, and intermediate autosomal osteopetrosis. The autosomal dominant form is most common. Usually, patients have mild symptoms that present in late childhood to adulthood. The autosomal recessive form, also called the malignant infantile type, is apparent soon after birth and frequently shortens life expectancy. The X-linked form of osteopetrosis is inherited through the X chromosome and has only a few cases reported. Approximately 8 to 40 children are born in the United States each year with the autosomal dominant type of osteopetrosis. In the general population, 1 in every 250,000 individuals is born with this form. However, I have intermediate autosomal osteopetrosis, which can be inherited as an autosomal recessive or an autosomal dominant trait. Very few cases of this type have been reported, but higher rates have been found in specific regions of Costa Rica, the Middle East, Sweden, and Russia. The severity of the disease varies, and I luckily have a milder form. Despite its mildness, it is the most rare of the other forms and is also known to become apparent in early infancy. Some affected individuals have no symptoms at all, or like me, the disease is discovered by complete accident while searching for something else. According to the National Organization for Rare Diseases, symptoms could include gradual deterioration of the nerves of the eyes, also known loss of vision, and muscular weakness. Some affected individuals may experience abnormal protrusion of the lower jaw, dental anomalies, baby teeth that do not fall out, also known as deciduous retention, tooth crown malformation, dental caries, and even facial paralysis. More uncommon symptoms include anemia, decreased levels of circulating blood platelets, and formation of blood cells that occurs in organs other than bone marrow. Although my diagnosis was discovered by x-rays, genetic testing can pinpoint the mutation in over 90% of cases, and bone biopsies can be done as well. Now I'm sure you're thinking, what in the world could cause a person to have these symptoms related to this bone disease, right? Well, during childhood and adolescence, bones are sculpted by a process called modeling, which allows for the formation of new bone at one site and the removal of old bone from another site within the same bone. This process allows individual bones to grow in size and to shift in space. Bone reabsorption is a unique function of the osteoclast. If the bone reabsorption has an insufficient production or defective function of osteoclasts, it could be the key cause of the formation of osteopetrosis. These cells are responsible for bone resorption and aid in the maintenance of healthy bone, which relies on a balance between bone resorption by osteoclasts and bone formation by other specialized cells called osteoblasts. So, now you're probably saying, huh? Well, what I'm trying to explain is your blood and bones have to work together in order to form a strong skeletal structure. The human skeleton is completely regenerated every 10 years. In this context, osteoclasts are essential for the bone turnover, bone remodeling, as well as microfracture repair, which individuals with this disease have the inability to do. Individuals who develop signs and symptoms usually have multiple bone fractures, spinal abnormalities, arthritis in the hips, or even a bone infection known as osteomyelitis. These problems usually become apparent in late childhood or adolescence. So, how has having this affected my life? Well, for one, my short height. Many of you may not have known that this contributes to my size until now, but it's much more easier to reply to, why are you so little, with, I get it from my parents, than I have some super rare bone disease called osteopetrosis. My first broken bone occurred at the age of 4 years old by just simply falling off of my cousin's back, and boom, my arm was broken. Yeah, that was pretty bad considering I couldn't use my right hand to color in my coloring book. But could you imagine your 6-year-old self in a body cast, not able to run around like the average kid your age, use the bathroom on your own, or walk in school with your perfectly normal legs? Well, for me, it became a reality in September 2007. I broke my right hip as a result of being pushed off of a swing and again, simply landing the wrong way. I was in a body cast for 3 months and had to retrain my noodle legs to walk again. And lastly, some of you may remember on December 18, 2016, I broke my left hip in Chicago, Illinois, just 2 days after arriving for my annual Christmas visit to my dad. No, I wasn't playing in the snow, no, I wasn't skiing, and no, I didn't slip on some ice walking out of the front door. Instead, I tripped over an extension cord, and unfortunately, my balance did not save me that day, and I fell. Many kids my age would have just gotten right back up without any hesitation, but that wasn't the case for me. That's all it took for my hip to break because of this disease. My dad immediately drove me to the urgent care emergency room, and after a series of extremely uncomfortable x-rays, I was transported by an ambulance to a children's hospital in the heart of Chicago. Little did I know that I was about to endure the longest 3 months of my life. The doctors declared that I indeed had a broken hip. I had to have a 6-hour surgery, putting a plate and 6 pins in me to attempt to put my hip back together. I was unable to attend attend school for about 2.5 months, and I had to go through physical therapy for 6 months, and I couldn't walk completely independently until 4 months after my surgery. This is just a snippet to show that having such brittle bones could break in the blink of an eye. Other than the constant fear of breaking another bone, my body aches, I have sensitive teeth, and I have to take precautions in my everyday life. Although it may not seem like it, even walking down the hallway at school can be dangerous for me. There is no cure for osteopetrosis, but there are treatments to ease it. It was the first genetic disease treated with hematopoietic stem cell transplantation, in which osteoclasts are derived from stem cells. Treatment for osteopetrosis depends on the specific symptoms and severity in each person. Therefore, treatment options must be evaluated on an individual basis. Some treatments include therapy with bone marrow transplantation, which is being investigated in clinical trials as I speak. The result of healthy marrow could provide osteopetrotic bones with cells from which osteoclasts will develop. Gamma interferon improves white blood cell function, resulting in a smaller chance of infections, decrease in bone volume, and increase in bone marrow volume. Patients can also be treated with vitamin D in the form of calcitriol, which is the medication that I took. Also, how often have you heard drink your milk? Well, for me, I need a calcium deficient diet because it has been proven to be an effective plan for osteopetrosis. Finally, healthy nutritional decisions are important to improve growth and give treatment options the best chance to work. Now, I'm sure that your heads are spinning from all of the information that I just gave you. Don't worry, I'm not going to give you any more medical information, but I would like to tell you how having this disease has helped shape who I am. I might be small, but I'm strong. I may be in pain at times, but I know how to keep it from overwhelming me. And instead of being angry, I'm grateful for every day, and here are some things I'm thankful for. Mom, thank you for being my best friend and being right by my side through these difficult times due to this. Dad, thank you for being right by my side as well, despite being over 800 miles away from me and encouraging me no matter what. And for my most recent incident in 2016, to Ms. Chokshi, my teachers during my sophomore year, and Mr. Giles, thank you for being the best support system throughout all of that. And to my friends that visited me over 3 times a week, made sure I didn't get too behind in school, and never failed to keep a smile on my face, thank you. Now a message to all of you. I think that this quote from Dr. Seuss says it all. Always remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and twice as beautiful as you've ever imagined.